dun, dun, dun. We're going in to Sin City. We're going to win in Sin City. It's FSB Racing Friday night, and we're in Sin City. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Mel Minter Jr. along with Greg Bernardo, the voice of FSB Racing. This is Aero 88 Winston Cup Friday night, and let's get it on in the gambling town of USA. What's up, Greg?
What's up, Milty? Yep. Uh, Sin City, USA, Las Vegas, Winston Cup Friday nights here, and we're on the Las Vegas 2014 version, Milty. So this is a very updated version of the track. So these guys, getting some feedback from these guys, they feel like super speedway, like in keeping the foot down on the throttle, and passing will be at a premium tonight.
Well, and look who's on the pole, the hometown boy of Sim of Sin City Racing, Michael Sanders on the pole, defending the home turf, bro. I mean,
Yeah,
you
he
got to
sure
do
did.
that. And, who cares about Pee Wee Herman and his little fist fight this weekend? Last weekend, we got us a showdown here. These guys are gonna race, they ain't gonna fight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Milty. Mike Sanders shows up at the home track, takes on some guys that usually are used to being on front row, like Josh Elliker, Jeff Hale, and guys like that. Ryan Johnson is our chicken run winner from Tuesday night on this track, Milty. So there's another person to keep an eye on as well. And he's been fast. And look at him, way down in ninth place, Milty. But look at the spread. That's a tight spread there on that qualifying list.
That's inches and seconds there. And the boss man Friday night, Ken Soska on P2. Best qualifying for him this year. Bubs Martinson in third and Josh Elliker fourth. He's qualified almost in the top five, I think, almost every race this season, as we are in race 11 of 23 with Rick Johnson with a huge point lead gap here of 22 points. And third is Jim Gately at minus 49, and Ryan Johnson minus 74, and Rick Pisconer minus 77 to round out the top five.
Yeah, Rick's had the season that a five-time Pro Cup champion is capable of. He's been consistent. He's won races when the opportunity was there. He's taken those opportunities into race wins. He's managed quality finishes when he hasn't won. And the result is a dominating points lead right now. That's going to be really hard to eat into unless he decides not to show for a race, which with this long season, Milty, anything can happen. So if you're in the points hunt, you just got to keep your head down and try to get as many points as you can each week.
Ace car coming around. He'll be ducking up this lap. FSBRacing.com. 2x2. Let's get some boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys.
Mike Sanders taking the green flag here at Vegas, a track he's, of course, extremely familiar with, but also every mile and a half, Milty. We talked about this throughout the season with the Winston Cup Series being a very heavy mile and a half style speedway style series. This really fits into Mike Sanders' wheelhouse. And
Almost a little
oh, and Jeff
contact
Hale's
with the
loose.
29, and does he save it?
Oh, there's a
And
big
he
pile
does
up
not.
behind him.
They
Big
all have
pile
to
up
check
behind
up in
him.
the 101 of
Wow. And I think Jeff did manage to kind of dodge a bullet there. But man, what a huge, a 101 car still upside down.
Hale is around in the wall, but
Wow, Milty. Wow,
You know, Ken was trying to let people by, and then he slid back in there, and he just really misjudged that and got in the back of. Not sure if
yeah, we'll take another look
Hale
at that.
checked
But
up
man,
there,
what
but
a
not what Ken wanted to do. Obviously, he didn't get a good start, and he was trying to let guys by and then feed back in there. But
yeah.
it was a hornet's nest there.
We'll take another quick look at that there. And yeah, you know, Milty, he really dove the car down behind Jeff Hale, and I don't know if there was contact or not there, Milty. Let's take another
Yeah,
look at it here.
yeah, it's hard to see.
Um,
You know, he's looking in his mirror, make sure he can clear Rick Bisconner. I'm not seeing it
and
from that
maybe just a
angle.
little tap there, Milty, but that's just enough. But this
Yeah,
big
there
wreck
you go.
behind
There
Jeff
you go.
Hale, as you see cars tumbling. Rick Johnson also gave Jeff Hale a little love tap there right at the end. But those cars wrecking coming right at you, Milty,
Oh,
that's kind of scary looking. There we see cars smoking on pit lane as well. I believe the 38 who also tumbled. But yeah, maybe just ever so gentle contact on that back bumper, Milty.
Jeff Havoc. Just horrible for him. He did the flip and roll there. That car's done. Tough luck for him. He was looking to. He hasn't had very good luck on Friday night, and that will continue.
Yeah,
And that was a hellacious
yeah,
ride
that was
in the 101 car.
that's one of the I was I'm sure Jeff if we happen to see Jeff later, Milty, if he manages to get onto the podium tonight, I know he saw an eyeful of that wreck coming right at him. But the end result is that Mike Sanders took the caution as the leader. One car is out now. Excuse me, two cars out. The 101 and 38, who were both badly damaged in that
Leo had
incident.
such hopes for tonight, and he was really excited
Yeah,
about
that's
this race. But that's racing, man.
man. It's an
We
it's
know that one, you
oh
know.
man, I really know that one. It's an extremely hollow feeling inside where you're just sitting there now looking at your screen, maybe now watching everyone else go around except you, and you just said, damn, you know, I spent all week thinking about this race and it's gone already. It's hard, but you have to accept it as part of what happens during a race, Milty. It's hard to accept that sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I mean, yeah, our last get together was last weekend at the 12 Hours of Sebring, and you know what a great deal that our team car won the race, but for our cars was close but no cigar. But that's racing, and you know
Yeah.
you tie your boot laces up again, and you get the next one and see what you can do. It's the way it goes.
And we go a little further down the field there. We see Josh Elliker fourth. There's Jeffrey Stone there sitting in fifth position. Rick Bisconner sixth. Sean Reap in seventh. And then not a newcomer, Milty, but someone that uh, we don't get to see as often as we like. The 060 car, Dean Gautreau, back in those LSU Tiger colors, logging some laps here in Vegas. It takes
Yeah,
Vegas,
just
Milty. This is what happens. You got to throw out the junkets and the free trips to these guys and all this stuff, and throw in maybe a couple showgirls, and then finally look who shows up at a race.
absolutely. You know, I mean,
Jesus.
you're working hard all week and putting a lot of hours in, and still he managed to take that FSB Learjet
Yeah.
all
Well.
the way from
I'm sure.
from
I heard the boss man still on the.
Louisiana.
I heard the boss man Jim Ray still on that credit card, so they're charging it up, unbeknownst to him as he's stepped away now. But I think that credit card's still in his name, so we're gonna have to do something about that. As we get
Well,
back
that
underway here, green flag.
yep, that chaos that ensued with that too wide. Now you got single file here, and the survivors get to going here. Going to be some damaged cars in the back. See how Jeff Hale does here. Ken Suska obviously didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, Milty, I was just about to ask you there if Ken, we both know Ken pretty well.
and Jeffrey
Oh,
Stone's around.
yes.
Don't know if there was
Oh, and
contact
there's
there.
contact there with the 17 car. It looks like everyone else is
Ken Shea gets
a
through.
little
He didn't
contact
have
there
very
with
good luck.
Chet too.
Well, look at that evasive action from Ken Shea doing some lawnmower work there, but T-Roy hard, and Chet Barkin also gives a little love tap there at the end there.
Yeah, and another quick caution, which we'll have to take a look there. We saw
In the
Stone
drivers' meeting, they were talking
get a little
about
out of shape there.
how hard it was to pass here, but they weren't talking about the setup being really loose or anything. But we're seeing
Yeah,
guys
we're seeing
making
this.
mistakes.
Yeah, we're seeing Jeff just get loose on
Just
his own,
lost it
Milty.
there.
He went down onto the apron and came back up onto the track there. And Dean did a great job. Ken Shea took evasive action. T-Roy nowhere to go.
Starting to see the wisdom of the 52 stand back a little bit. Great job by Slim Gately to get on those binders, see what was in front of him, and make the correct move to get around.
And we saw Ken Shea, like you said, do some gardening there on the front stretch. You know, we do have people that do that before the race, so we really don't need these guys doing it, Milty. But sometimes, they just want to lend a hand. So
Well, they
Ken,
paint
attention to
it
that.
all up, and
Yeah, we got tire marks right through, nice logos and everything. Sponsors don't like that, Milty. They cut the checks, so we got to keep them happy here. And the
well, Ken Shea
Bumblebee, though, dodged
dodged
a bullet that he
there.
was not dodging last week, Milty. Took several hits.
And we know the skills of this guy here. Ken Shea, as we like to call him, Ski-G. He can rock and roll, and you give him a chance, and he'll take a mile here and a win.
Yeah,
And watch out for that
just
Bumblebee.
underway here, Milty. Just eight laps in of 107 laps. So hopefully these guys will take a deep breath and say, let's just log some laps, get the feel for the full pack racing. Remember, as you always say, Milty, almost every race, driving around in practice with 2 or 3 guys around you that maybe or just doing solo laps and is not the same when you have a 20 car field and everyone trying to keep what they got. So
Absolutely.
a little maybe practice in the race here for these guys, that they just gotta accept their position for a few laps and let the tires do what they're supposed to do, and then see where
And start the race, yeah.
But we see some guys that did start in the back because of these little wrecks, Milty. They've been able to take advantage of kind of moving up a couple positions, and then caution comes out and locks them in. And Rick and Ken Shea both started basically at the end of the field, and now they're both in the top 10. And I believe both have undamaged cars. So they've dodged bullets, and now they feel with just a fewer cars in front of them now, got to feel a little better about things.
Well, talking to Rick Johnson before the race with his massive points lead, and also his pit crew chief Bonnie, his girlfriend, they're very confident, and she's right by his side, watching the broadcast.
That's
and
an unfair advantage, really, I think.
And that's
gonna have to revisit FSB rules here and see if having a live crew chief right next to you.
That's absolutely in the rules, or not in the rules.
Hey, we got to change the rules when Rick wins too much.
Well, you know, when you got support and you know, I mean, just speaking for myself, there's a lot of other things that are not so good I could be doing on a Friday night instead of hanging out with y'all and
Yeah, yeah, you said it,
in my
Milty.
safe little home.
I know enough about you to know that's true.
It's a bar hopping, baby, you know. But you know, here I am drinking my beers and watching a fantastic race. It's going to be fantastic, but right now we're definitely having some. We got some extra pit stops. Ryan Johnson and Dennis
Yeah,
Balsar
so
are going
now,
back in. They're in the back, so they're trying
well,
to
yeah,
get an advantage on fuel
there's
and tires.
absolutely, Milty. There's never too early to do strategy. The race is already basically 10% over for all intents and purposes, and that means you can start doing calculations and say, the fewer times I have to come down pit lane, the better off I am. And once we get underway here again, if we can start logging some laps, guys will get a feel for the fuel mileage and tire wear and all those things, which remain to be seen right now with pit stops and fresh tires basically 10 laps in and about go green. Mike Sanders, still our leader. Pops has moved up nicely, Milty. And as I told you right before we went on, Pops had a great run on Tuesday night here at this track, led more than half the race. I think he lost out on a little fuel mileage play at the end and couldn't make up those positions in the end. But Pops knows how to turn laps here, Milty, and he's right on the back bumper of Mike Sanders.
And he is fast out of the gate. He just has a knack for that. Just know he's gonna go when the venerable one knows when he needs to go. Bisconder scrapes the wall a little bit, getting around. As he's got places to go and people to see. With a fight there with Jeff Hale and excuse me, Ryan Johnson. Ryan Johnson's laying back a little bit. No Isaac Johnson tonight. Probably, going out on a date with, as he's a 16-year-old young man, living some life, or maybe working on his go-kart.
Yeah, maybe doing both. But we see that Ken Soska 07 gave some ground there to some of the faster cars on the inside. Now Josh Elliker flexing some muscles, Milty, and we know that these kind of tracks, and him and Mike Sanders, there are mile-and-a-half guys, and they now have rose right to 1-2. Sean going along for the ride there, latched on to Josh, and now just right on his back bumper, loosened him up a little there.
Well, every time you hear Sean Reep talk, it's like watching National Geographic because he's so smart and he analytically attacks these tracks. What he was talking about was lifting early and riding through the corners and letting the car settle in and that helps in tire wear and smoothness. And you see, he's more action than talk. He can walk the walk and talk the talk.
Yeah,
he's up there in P2.
Yeah, and the car looks extremely strong. Mike Sanders taking note of that, taking a very defensive line there, Milty. And now Sean going to try that outside line, which is probably not the preferred way to pass someone when they're fast. But he's committed now, and they're almost side by side. Josh Elliker helping. There is a little draft here, Milty.
When the tendencies of your opponents, and you also know your tendencies, and you try to work that to your advantage. These guys are thinking Sanders way down on the bottom there. Elliker right up on the tail of the 62.
Yeah, there's some tight racing here at the front. Battle for the lead, battle for second and third, fourth, all together. Throw a blanket over them. And then everyone else, and here come Rick Johnson, Ken Shea, zooming up from the back here, Milty, as these guys battle side by side. That's really opening the door for them as well.
Oh boy, close.
And now Dean in that 060 car, in that low preferred line, Sean trying to get down there, but Dean just has a bumper on him. Just fits his way in.
The veteran, Dean Gotro, I've known him for probably 12 years. OCC racing guy. And he's definitely come to race tonight, and he is bottom feeding, definitely.
Yeah, he's a winner go home type guy, Milty. Not running for points. He's a ringer in the race tonight. He's only got one thing on his mind. He wants to probably get to the front and lead laps and win the race, or go home. And those guys got to take note of that, especially the points runners. Josh Elliker now battling him. As Sean still working that outside line on Mike Sanders, and Milty, working that outside line can really take a toll on those tires too.
Not seeing some gapping here like I thought at first, but Troy Knoll, he's got a little bit of damage there, but he is definitely keeping up. But there's a gaggle in front of him.
Yeah,
the Slim Sim guys together.
Jeff Hale right there latched on to Slim. Looks like Jeff Hale's cars survived that initial scare, Milty.
It looks pretty good.
And we see there Rick Johnson, Ken Shea in that 91 familiar Bumblebee ride.
I think Ken Shea decided I'm going to back off a little bit here. I know I got teammates. But that outside line is working well, and he is side drafting very well.
Yeah, and the
keeping up.
As we've seen with Mike Sanders a couple times, that apron on the front stretch is in play as a viable option for guys. So let's keep an eye on that as well. The car does get a little upset as it hits it, but you can pull it off and maybe gain a couple tenths on the guy if you're just slightly faster than him there. And we see some hard battling now with Slim and Dean. Dean on the outside, Slim on the inside, coming off a 4. And this track, Milty, is kind of
it's banked, but there's still not that much room. You have to hold your line.
Yeah, and the front
straight, deviate.
The front straight really isn't straight at all. It's very curved almost all the way from turn 4 to turn 1. But Slim's car looks hooked up right now.
Right there.
Yeah, there's still 2x2 racing. Mike Sanders now out by himself. Josh Elliker has taken over second from Sean, and now Sean's got a handful with Rick Johnson and Slim and Jeff Hale lined up on the inside.
There was like 3 inches between the 52 and the 25, but these guys are seasoned veterans, as all these guys are. It's a pro racing league right here. Now you're starting to see what it's all about, folks.
Yeah, and we also got to remember, man, when you get that close, Milty, these cars can get aero loose going into corners. So let's keep an eye on that, as you can take the air off the back of these cars, and it will feel loose as you get into these corners. So Rick and Slim and Jeff Hale are just nose to tail.
52 up to 4th.
Yeah, and that outside line, Milty, I just think is only good for
so long.
A very quick burst, and then you got to really get back in line, or you're going to pay the price as you stay out there.
Well, they were talking about it being super speedway like in practice, but in the race with more draft.
Dean up
a
little high there, but he stays off the wall.
I think that car's starting to push a little bit.
Yeah, and
the 060 is definitely getting tight.
Yeah, and there was a nice move there by Dan Jones, our favorite 007, Dan Jones. And I think Dan did a nice job there of letting Dean get back in line there. He could have pressed the issue, and that could have ended ugly right there. But Dean back in line there, about 10th place. As we're now on lap 27, Milty, so we've hit about 17 laps of green flag racing here.
We're about halfway through.
What are you assessing right now?
That's about halfway through a fuel and tire run.
We
Some of
see,
these guys that topped off, but they topped off fuel, not tires, so it should be mono a mono equal here. Looking at about another 17 laps for pits.
yeah, and this real tight racing, nose to tail. Mike Sanders, Josh Elliker, Rick Johnson now in the third. Slim in the fourth, Jeff Hale fifth. And then Sean has tucked right in there, and he's recovered, I think, from that outside line beating that everyone seems to be taking once they get shuffled to the outside. Now he's trying to pay back a little payback here by trying to get to the inside of Jeff Hale, Milty.
He's feeling jiggy tonight, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, and successful. Very nicely done.
Yep, nice pass. I like what I heard from the 62. He is really understanding the physics of what he needs to do to drive, and he's showing you that on the track.
Yeah, that was a solid pass by the 62 car, and he opened the door for Ken Shea. And now Dean, who tucked back in Milty after getting shuffled on the outside, now he's going to try to get around Jeff Hale.
Wow, look how close they
maybe
are.
Jeff Hale's car does have a little damage that shows up as these tires wear, Milty.
Let's go a little in car and show you how hard it is to see your visual points here when you're following that close. Or hold on a minute, we got some action here for passing here. I want to hold on a minute here. As Rick Johnson takes a look. There we go, in car.
We'll jump in car here with Ken Shea as he's anchoring this lead pack now, Milty, as they have a little gap behind him to Dean. And we'll have you turn a couple laps here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
Father saying inside. You got to pick a mark where you know you can let that car on the inside. Now he's clear. He's going to be looking to stay down low here, which he is. Incredible speeds here.
Yeah, we're looking at that speed at the top of the screen, Milty, 185, 86.
186 coming in. No brakes. This game is not so much you can't trail brake and expect to survive, and you have to lift.
And we're looking at lap times, Milty, just 3/10 off the best lap time, and they're well over halfway through this run, so that draft does come into play here.
You see the vision, not very good. That's why you got your spotter to tell you what's going on around you.
And you see
your
that
main
52
focus
car
is up front.
That 52 car just popped out of line just to breathe the car a little and let Josh Elliker know that maybe a bit faster. And these guys have really held their line, and Dean's doing a great job of hanging on to this draft here, Milty, as we see Dean in the rearview mirror of Ken Shea's car. But he really hasn't gone away. In fact, he looks a little larger now than when we first joined him. So great job there hanging on.
And Shea's kind of looking, and now he's sucking up in the draft here. But there really is no place to go on the outside. You need to pressure the guy in front of you and hope he makes a mistake. You gotta make your passing with execution. No mistakes, and let other guys make mistakes. See, like when he goes high there, you hear the engine bog down a little bit.
And we
if
see
you
that
miss your apex point.
And here comes Jeff Hale now, Milty. And there looks like pit stops are happening here. As we saw Mike Sanders and the front runners there, Milty, quickly peel off into the pits. So pit stops happening lap 37. So we'll note that, and we'll see. We'll follow Ken Shea from this cockpit down pit lane. This is a difficult pit lane, Milty. We see Ken now up to third position, Slim right ahead of him in second.
the lap times are falling off, but they've got a lot of fuel left. What are they going to do? Is it about tires or fuel, or do you want to keep track position and hope these guys wreck here? Because
yeah, that's an interesting move. And now looks like Rick Johnson's showing that he's pitting here, Milty.
Yeah, he gets down low. 52 is pitting.
So Rick now has given up the lead to Slim. Now that brings our guy that we're running with, Ken Shea, up to second. Jeff Hale right there in third. So these guys have really stretched their fuel, Milty.
They still got 8 to 10 laps they could go. But, you know, how much tire fall off are you going to have?
Well, now with the cars fewer, Milty, than this line did before, and the draft really playing a role, I think we're going to see now like mid, 30s plus laps where we were seeing mid 29.
13, best lap 29.5, so they're already losing almost half a second here.
And now maybe Ken Shea now thinking of pitting here, Milty. So we'll stay with him as he will negotiate this difficult pit lane. Yeah, and he's coming in along with Slim and Jeff Hale. So all top 3 cars in.
Pitting right there.
Yeah,
right down to it. 45 miles an hour. Kid got up to 46 a little bit there, but he was on the brake. Should be good.
And
right at 44 miles an hour, the Bumblebee crew.
And he hits his marks, and away they go.
Folks, you don't know how hard this is.
Very nice ride there with Ken Shea. As he gets his service, there we see Steve Weber and Troy Knoll, T. Roy there, and Chet all getting their service done. And now he's out, and there's Josh Elliker as well. Slim and 91 and Jeff Hale all come out together, Milty. So successful pit stop for all 4.
Got to execute every inch of this track, on the track and on your pit entrance and exit. And wow, great job by these pros.
Josh Elliker leads them out of the pits now, Milty, with such early pit stops done. Now we're on lap 42. Pit stops began way back on lap 37, Milty.
Now you got to think about the fuel saving mode. There are ways to do that, and you got to start count backwards. And with 65 laps to go, you can definitely split that in one more pit stop if it stays green.
Yeah, we're watching Josh Elliker, Slim Jim right behind him, Ken Shea right behind him, and then there's that 52 car, Rick Johnson. And when they cross the line here, let's see if we can get a reset from the green flag stops happening here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway Friday night racing, FSBRacing.com. Lap 43 of 107 here on Winston Cup Friday night racing. So Josh Elliker, Milty, is in danger of going a lap down here. So he must have had some kind of issue, as Slim is our leader. But Josh right ahead of him, trying to hang on to the lead lap now, so maybe a penalty possibly.
The veterans, they're seeing blood in the water, and they know it's just a matter of time. It doesn't matter if they get by him or not, because they are on point here.
Okay, and we'll also see, Milty, looking at the top 10, that the Mike Sanders pitting group, which was the first to pit, has really suffered. They're 5 seconds off the pace.
And that usually isn't the case. Usually the first pitting group suffers later in the run.
Yeah, so
just
now
the execution of this top 6-7 cars is just extraordinary.
Yeah, and included in this group now is the 007 of Dan Jones, who's done a fabulous job coming out of nowhere, and he latched onto this group coming out of the pits and now he's sitting right in the top 5, Milty, and looking good because of that 6-second gap now back to 7th place Mike Sanders.
Yeah, in pro sim racing like this, start to get green flag runs, you get green flag stops. This separates the execution from the executor.
Yeah, so I think what the story tells us is that the guys that pitted early, Milty, did not benefit from the fresh tires, as the guys that stayed out were still running fast enough laps that they pulled away while they were slow on pit lane. And then when they came out, they maintained that speed immediately coming out. And it doesn't seem there's a lot to uh, be lost by an early pit stop under green conditions. So I would think if Mike Sanders and company, this time you have to run this tank dry if it stays green.
Yeah, and you got to hope for caution. I mean,
Or a caution, of course.
but the thing is, it's still Noah's Ark here. They talked about speedway-ish, super speedway-ish type of racing, but you're seeing single file here. Of course, they have no benefit to try to make a move here. You're in this top.
These are all
10
heavy
you're
group
right
of
there,
veteran drivers here in the front, Milty. And I think they've realized that with that 6-second lead, if they stay in line, it's going to grow. And also, Slim, our leader, obviously very familiar with Josh and wants to keep Josh ahead of him in case that caution does come out. He can get back on the lead lap. And since Josh is obviously extremely fast right now, he's not even holding any of the leaders up. But once that happens, we'll see if Josh decides to give ground or if Slim's going to have to make a move on him. As they get a little racy behind him, Rick Johnson getting around Sean Reed. Now, Rick trying to maybe flex his muscles for the first time in this race.
When you got that 52 behind you, you better execute. Because any little gap or weakness you show, going to capitalize on that.
And the 91 car right there, sitting pretty in third. And finally, I think for Ken Shea, after a tough last week, Milty, he's probably finally taking a kind of a sigh of relief, saying, okay, this is where I'm used to being. Halfway through a race,
He knows what he knows,
So he's sitting in third. There's Rick right behind him, Sean Reap right there, Dan, and Jeff Hale. I think Jeff's car may be just a little wounded, Milty. And when the run progresses, Jeff's car kind of suffers just a bit.
Yeah, really having to push hard just to stay up with this group.
But that shows
the draft is helping,
great skill level that he has, Milty.
Absolutely,
is that he's able to force that car into the lead draft and stay there. And, stranger things have happened as a race progresses if you're up in the lead pack. As we go back to the second group here, we see Mike Sanders, Steve Weber, Dean Gautreau, and Ken Soska, our second group. So these guys are amongst our leaders, Milty. They pitted early, much earlier than the leaders that we see now did. And it seems like it's really punished them for that early pit stop. So now we'll see if these guys can stay together, log as fast as laps as they can, and run these cars until they're dry, and hope either for a caution or that the rest of these guys will come back to them through cycles of pit stops.
You're talking the 8-second gap against these pro drivers. I mean, it's just inches, seconds, and bam, you're like, what had just happened right now?
Yeah, and you're maybe a little shell-shocked right now, sitting. How did I go from, amongst the leaders to 8 seconds back? What happened? But back at the front, Slim still in control. Ken second, Rick Johnson third, Sean in fourth. Josh Elliker showing ahead of Slim there in the 25 car is on the basically on we'll call him on the tail end of the lead lap, and he's pretty much held that position since the pit stop exchanges finished up, which was about lap 42, 43, Milty, for the leaders here. But the guys that came in first were about 37. So how long can you go to run it out?
Well, you split it in half, and uh, uh, for those leaders, I was thinking 33 or 35, but that's going to take you to like lap 70 to 72.
We're 50 laps to go now, Milty. So we're for those guys that pitted early, lap 37. These guys are now 20 laps into their run. The other guys about 15, 16 laps into their run. And they're losing ground. So this is boding ill for the guys 7th and beyond right now, Milty. They're really going to need a caution, or I think they're all in danger of going a lap down in this next exchange.
Well, they've got slightly damaged cars and damaged cars in that. And you also got these pros up in the front who are lining up and managing the gap. But then you're looking at the lap times. Last lap for Ken Shea in the 91 was 29.9. His best lap 29.5. So he's still running a hardy pace in this draft. They're nose to tail drafting, economizing, looking for that next pit stop, get themselves into that P1 spot where Josh is at, or where Slim is at. Excuse me. Josh needs this caution real bad.
Yeah, really
here.
needs a caution, but so far this race now has, from that kind of rough beginning, and now Rick Johnson, kind of a late move there on Ken Shea. I think Ken was not expecting that, and he had to take like kind of an evasive maneuver there to let Rick by, and that's accomplished. So now Rick up into second position, Ken back to third, Sean still holding that fourth position. Jeff Hale, Dan Jones battling. Oh! Oh! And down all the way.
And a little bit of contact, just a
again
and
contact.
More contact. With Chet trying to get out of the way there,
And
but the 91 got loose there.
Yeah, and he had to chase the car, Milty, and just had nowhere to go there. I don't know if there's. We'll check to see if a caution will come out there. I don't think so. Yes, caution is out. They'll race back to the line here.
Yeah, Chet was doing everything he could to
just
stay out
too
the
many
way
cars in that
with
space.
a damaged car. He was in that first wreck. And it looked like the 91 kind of lost where he was at and pushed up a little bit. I'll have to take a look at that.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that. It almost looked like either Ken got a great, maybe a pretty large run there and had nowhere to go with that run.
Should be no damage for the 91, so he should be good. He just lost some track position there.
Yeah, we see he's let Rick Johnson down low, Milty, but as bad. You could see that Rick Johnson was working down low there, and he just got either he drove that car in a little deep into the turn, or Rick was slower than Ken expected, but he came right up onto his back bumper, and I think he was worried about getting into the back of Rick, so he tried to take a little move to the outside, but Chet was still there, and unfortunately for Chet, into the outside wall.
Yep, that's.
And then the 360. and everyone gets around Chet, it looks like. So,
The trouble for the 62 in the pits there.
so as we go back live, let's try to, yeah, we see he's turned around, Milty, and now he gets going. So let's see what happened to Sean.
Wow, I mean, every inch of these races, you have to be,
So we see
things have to go right for you.
man, Mel, I can't keep up right now. The 62
Wow.
in for a routine pit stop, it looks like here, Milty. The
He was
jack comes
angled in a
down,
little bit.
and then just contact with Rick Johnson on the as he accelerated. I don't know if he didn't see Rick there or what happened, but Rick was
Oh, hard into Rick Johnson. Rick's in the outside line where he needs to be. And
I think
that was
Sean
just
didn't
a,
see him, and that's
yeah, yeah.
very difficult vision area, Milty, to see a guy on that outside if you drive in car.
And when you do that, you also have to be mindful of the guys that are in pit stalls in front of you, because you got two lanes there. So you got to make sure and give them a lane. If he would have stayed down low on that inside lane, he would have been fine.
And of course,
Uncharacteristic mistake for the 62.
yeah, it is, and of course, if that happened under green, Milty, it would be disastrous for him. But under caution, he's lost track position, but staying on the lead lap. But a big break for that second group now, Milty. New life, and new life for Josh Elliker.
Absolutely, and this is a good time for New Life for Me, sponsored by Budweiser. I'll be right back.
As we see Josh now showing 13th place back on the lead lap, Sean all the way back to 12th. So he's got some work to do here with how do we got? We got 44, 43 laps remaining right now. And we're going to go around one more time. Slim will be our leader as we go green, but there are several cars a lap down that may line up all the way to the front there, and that would be beginning with the 15th place car, Jeff Stone, and 21 of Dennis Balsar, 99 of Pops. Went a lap down. That's a bad break for Pops. He had a really fast car early on in this race. And I think through that green flag stops, he got shuffled back, lost a lap. So he's going to have some work to do there. But now he'll be able to get some movement toward the front there and see if he can maybe get ahead of the leaders and get a caution, because you got to earn your lap back here. Old school racing at FSBRacing.com. Las Vegas Motor Speedway with about 40 laps remaining as we're going to get back to green. Our leader, 25 car, Slim Jim Gately in the Slim Jim car. Rick Johnson second. Dan Jones with a great run so far up to third. Definitely Dan's highest position of the race, so he's done a great job. He went in with these leaders. He pulled out a great pit stop, and it rewarded him with the lead pack run. And now with the caution, he's consolidated that position into a solid third. Ken Shea right behind him. Jeff Hale right behind him, and then Steve Weber, the big cactus, is looming there in sixth position.
Shouldn't be any damage for Rick. Just
Oh, and the 21 car out of shape, Milty, as we get the restart, but he saved it down low.
He's really
he's caution is out though.
Oh, and that's Jeffrey Stone upside down and contact with in Saska.
Wow, and there's some really Rick Bisconner's on fire, Milty.
Oh, Jeffrey Stone is blue chunks right there. Sure. And just come on, son, get out of that thing. Trying to get to the fire extinguisher.
Oh, that car is badly bashed in on the rear, Milty, and so another big wreck right after the restart here. Let's go back and soak that one in.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happened.
Yeah, we know Rick's car was badly damaged, but we can see that it happened way in front of Rick. So it looks like maybe Rick was an innocent victim in this one, unfortunately. Uh, and it looks like it looked to me, Milty, that the 21 car got loose ahead of Jeffrey Stone, and it may have spooked him a little. Because Jeff's car just went from where it's supposed to be.
Left lane to right lane.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just immediately, and we see that 21 car got loose right ahead of him. I don't know if he was taking evasive action or if he lost the car. It looks like the car just shot up on him all of a sudden, right into Ken Shea, who had nowhere to go, Milty. And then as the
Just
spin occurred,
another bad luck for Ken Shea.
yeah, and that's unfortunate. That's just wrong place, wrong time for Ken Shea. We see Dennis down low there from getting loose, and then it was on with Ken up against the wall now. Uh, Cars had nowhere to go as Jeff sliding down the track, and then upside down into Dean, who just
Upside down, inside out.
pounded Dean into the outside wall as he was
Wow,
upside
where's
down as
my
well.
bucket? I got to throw up. Oh, bam, bam. Dean Gotro gets
Yeah, he got
hammered. He's going to need a stretcher back to Louisiana there, I'm afraid.
he's still running in the race, so hats off to him. Let's catch back up on these leaders and reset you. Lap 69 of 107. So the wrecks here have been very violent, Milty. Cars upside down
Oh,
twice now.
the fans love it, but these drivers are not liking that, I'm sure. We're on the edge of the fuel window here.
Yeah, we see 38 laps to go. Lights on still. If you're in the back of this lead lap, Milty, you're diving in here for sure, aren't you?
Yeah, gotta.
We see now 12 cars on the lead lap. Ken Shea managing to stay on the lead lap. I don't know how badly his car's damaged. He definitely was up into the wall. Doesn't look like anyone hit him once he was up there, so maybe just some cosmetic damage. I'm sure he went into the pits to address it. So we'll see how that affects him. But now Josh Elliker, Milty, went from one lap down basically to now in the top 10.
That's exactly what he was looking for. And he did a great job, like he always does, of maintaining where he was at and racing the race and dealing with it. And, no, he's just, he's special talent, and you see that again. And now he gets to go, gets to work.
We see that 43 car, Milty. The back is just duct taped up. Yeah. Don't know if that thing will pass inspection after a race either. But man, that thing's gonna be a handful, I think, for him.
He's just run so well, but it's just these long seasons like this. I mean, it happens to you, and then it can happen to you again and again.
Yeah. Now Mike Sanders, remember Milty? He was our leader
He's
early
gonna be
on
loose.
and was really a dominant car early on in this race. And then early pit stop really set him back. But now with these cautions, he's managed to work his way back into the top five. And
And he's got a clean
he
car,
sure
and
does. Look, that car
he's got the
got nothing
speed.
on it. No marks
All the
on
Las
Mike Sanders'
Vegas
car.
Sin City fans are just cheering for this dude here.
And
This is a
man,
hometown race here.
and the other thing I heard is a win, his win parties can be a little out of hand.
Yeah, probably no Pee Wee Herman fist fights or anything, but it's more like a good time, With Sin City, Mike Sanders has sponsored so many trophy series as we go green here, a class act, and his parties are going to be fun, and no little skinny guys trying to fight at the end of the race.
Yeah, we see Slim off to a good start. Pops are fighting for that lap back, but Slim just too strong right now. Rick on that outside now working Pops. This is always a delicate time
Yeah,
with those
Pops is always really fast at the start. So as a driver, you got to be mindful of that. No lucky dog in this series. There are others. Monday night FSB Pro and FSB Cup. But you race what you got, and he has every right to go for it. But you got to know your competition and realize. And Slim knows that, so he's trying to take advantage of that and gap these guys. And how about that there? That 007,
yeah, he's fighting Jeff Hale here
Dan
on
Jones is a
for
stud.
third
Let
position.
me tell you. King of the Hill winner this year in all four disciplines of racing. This guy can roll. He's got patience. He's got skill. I like, if I was gonna, whoa, boy, and he's getting past here. But if I was gonna look at a driver that mimicked style and skill set that I would have, I would probably. I hope he doesn't see that as a disrespect, or maybe he'll see it as a compliment. But Dan Jones is the kind of driver that has the whole package. Not super good at one thing, but pretty good at everything. And that's why he's the King of the Hill defending champion.
And the guy at the front right now is pretty good. That's Slim Jim Gately in that 25 car. He's holding off the 52 Rick Johnson. Pops there one lap down, but Pops very fast, as you said, Milty. And he's right up on the back bumper of Slim, kind of pressing him. And Rick Johnson
He's got
is
to go.
kind of encouraging Pops there to try to work that inside line there.
Absolutely. He's got to go. It's the roll package.
Oh, and Pops mid make a move, and Slim slammed the door on him.
Slim's got to be mindful, but at the same time, you got to realize, oh my gosh, you got to realize that this guy is fighting for a lap down. He's got a clean car. If history tells, give it a few laps, and hopefully Pops will start to fade a little bit.
But right now, not fading at all. He's still right up on the back bumper of Slim.
He's got to go. Got to go.
And Pops really made a valiant... Oh, and Dean off the outside turn 4 wall there as they come off a 4 there. Bounced off of it, and now he's spinning, I think.
Oh, Dean Gotro, hard into the wall. Yep.
Down into the inside pit lane, and that car used up. And I believe out of the race. Caution is out. We're looking at the pace car right there.
Caution is out.
As you see it.
Oh, into underway. The pace car. He killed Johnny Rutherford there, I think. Is he still the pace car driver? No. The pace car is out. No, the pace car.
And I believe Pops got his lap. And I believe Pops got his lap back there, Milty.
They gave it to him, and what a great fight. That's what you got to do. I've been in that position, and dude's got to roll, and Old Man Rumble, the venerable one of the few guys in this league older than I am, but he's got skills, man. What a fantastic! He's back on the lead lap,
and we see him cycle around.
Got a boy, Pops.
Pops really fought Slim as about a hard
he's got skills,
as I've seen
man.
anyone fight Slim, Milty.
Slim is a calculated veteran. He knew what he was dealing with there, and at the end, when the caution, as soon as he saw the caution fly, he let Pops go by because he knew he didn't want to deal with it later, and that's what a vet do,
We watch them all come down pit lane, so every car on the lead lap comes down pit lane now.
Execute. This is your money stop right here. Goes green. This is it.
And Rick Johnson, I don't know if that was maybe intentional or not, Milty, but he has that little pit road entry space in between him and Slim.
Great stop.
Which gives him a little advantage there of coming out nice and clean. And he does. Slim also out, and it looks like Rick is going to maybe win this drag race off pit
Yeah,
lane.
buddy. Pit crew chief Bonnie
I think Rick
in
Johnson
his ear.
may have
And
taken
there
that
you go,
spot.
side by side right there. 45 miles an hour. Rick Johnson clears. No penalty. He will get P1. I'm sure Bonnie's jumping up and down right now. What's up? Team Highline Racing and Rick Johnson, the master.
Yeah, whether it be green flag stops or yellow, Milty,
Every execution, this guy's got a notebook as long as your finger, and he knows how to get it done.
And we'll see as they cross the line here on beginning lap 81 of 107, that the 52 car is now officially our leader. Slim second, Jeff Hale still fighting on in third place.
Yeah, well,
a
Jeff
wounded
is
car.
just a stud, man.
Sean Reed Ford.
That car has to have some damage.
And you know, Sean went away, Milty, with that first set of green flag stops. A lot of guys who were fast early on
There
went
was
away.
some sheet metal damage with his pit stop melee, but that car still should be good.
Yeah, it was at least a slow speed hit.
Steve Weber up there.
And the big cactus in fifth.
Who's that guy? Where'd he come from?
Yeah, well, he's the guy that runs the Chicken Run admin now, Steve Weber, our former Winston Cup admin. And former Winston
Cup champion.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's how he roll.
And he had a good, solid run on Tuesday night here, Milty. So he's very familiar with the track already as the admin, of course, and then running and logging those laps. And
Michael Sanders has worked his way diligently and patiently. The 07 Ken Soska still fighting right behind, getting in that early melee, which it's hard to say how you would look at that.
Yeah, it was a tough call, Milty.
Yeah.
Both angles I saw there, it was too hard to tell if there was or was not any true contact. He was right up onto the back bumper there of
Elker lost the most spots. Something must happen to him on pit road.
Josh back to 8th position. Ken Shea 9th. Rounding out the top 10. That car that was just one lap down is now top 10. That's Pops Margison. New life for Pops. Let's see if he's going to take advantage of his new life here and put the hammer down with how many laps we got going here, Milty? About 25 laps to go when we take green. So we're all fueled and tired up, and we're going to have a run to the end now, bearing maybe a caution.
So hard to pass. We've seen that. Can't make a move on the outside. You need mistakes, but you got the odds of that guy in front making mistakes are low. So that's the guy you got to beat. Now these guys gonna try to do something crazy behind him to get around him.
And green flag is out.
That's what they're gonna have to do.
And we saw Slim had a very fast car, Milty. Rick has not led many laps. In fact, this is, I think, his first laps led of the race.
Yep.
So we'll see if Slim tries to make
not
an
a good start for the 52. But they negotiate. Slim right on this bumper. He was really anticipating that start.
Yeah, and also Slim knows there's no passing to the backstretch. So what you want to do is really get right up on the back bumper there and see if you can make a move as you get onto the straightaway. But now Slim and Rick have really pulled away from the field in just one lap here.
Wow, they're trying to negotiate, and they just dropped the ball there a little bit, I think.
Yeah, Jeff Hale holding off
These
Sean Reed, Mike
late
Sanders.
restarts are so important. And I've been a victim of that too. You just can't lull yourself to sleep here. You got to get up on the wheel. And Slim Jim Gately did that, and the rest of them are lagging behind.
Yeah, that's a really uncharacteristic of this veteran starting field here. But over a second, they've lost, second and a half now, Milty, to the leaders.
I think Jeff Hale got a bad start, and they got behind him, and with the no passing to the back stretch rule, that hurt the rest of those cars. They couldn't go around him. But I mean, if a guy doesn't get a good start, you can go.
Yeah, well, it has to be a very poor start though, and that there is generally it's discouraged.
Common sense.
It's generally discouraged to make a move on someone unless you know they're really badly out of shape and off the pace, but not just a slow start. And we see, man, Slim really pushing Rick Johnson. I mean, they're like two train cars linked up and just hauling the mail right now as they try to outrun the rest of this field.
These are this is, like 1-1 as far as the studs in this league.
Now, Milty,
they're on the field. They're on showcase here right now, folks.
Yeah, with about a 26-lap run to the end, can they be a little too abusive here? And would that hurt them toward maybe the last 5-10 laps of this run?
Well, they got to pace each other. They know that gap they have.
Yeah, the gap is coming down now, though, Milty. They shaved 3/10 of a second off. And a cooperation behind these guys is crucial. We're all lined up now, nose to tail.
Absolutely. Reed needs to get down and get in that line and work with Mike Sanders there and the rest of the group.
Yeah, now they're 1.1, so they are slowly reeling in the top two. So good job by those guys. Didn't panic, didn't infight too much. They kind of cooperated with each other for the common goal.
What they had to do, yeah.
But Sean's car, I'm kind of concerned, Milty. It's going up very high to the wall. He's leaving a lot of room for these guys.
Yeah, that's not the line I would suggest, but...
Mike Sanders, Josh Elliker tucked in behind him. I think they're willing to work with this run here until they can catch him.
Until they can get to him, yeah.
Then I think all bets are off as we get 18 laps to go. Still plenty of racing to go here.
62 could be a little tight here with his settings, and there are in-car adjustments you can make. I think he realizes that group is doing that, so he's trying to take that outside in line to save his tires, so when they catch them, his tire situation is better.
Yeah, and this group
but they're not going to be patient very much longer.
And now, yeah, they're only 0.8 of a second now off of Slim in
second place. Come.
So great job by this group of catching.
Sean Reed needs to start to defend now, and look at him. That's exactly what he does. Changes his line. He's mindful of exactly what's going on, like we are.
We see Rick and Slim out front still, but they must know.
He just doesn't want to scrub that right. He wants to keep that right front temperature down so he can do something when he gets to him, and now he's there.
And we see Josh, Mike Sanders, and Jeff Hale now starting to think about making a move on position. But Sean Milty has just shot up to the back bumper now with Slim Jim Gately.
He has.
And now it's a top 3.
While we were talking there, he was using that outside in. That's a line I like to do too when I know I can keep guys behind me, just to try to arc that corner a little bit more, because you're not having to defend because you know they're not going to make a pass on you. Now you gotta get low and try to warthog your way through and get down to that bottom line. But that 52 is just, he's executing so well, it's going to be hard for, he's defending down low.
Oh, and Dan Jones loose, Milty. And he just clipped Ken Shea, and Ken hard into the outside wall. It's almost hard
Oh,
for me to see that happen.
that
But
just oh, that's a hard lick right there. Caution's gonna be out.
man, that might be all she wrote for Ken Shea as well, Milty.
Uh, and sometimes
Tough
you're the
break.
hammer, sometimes you're the nail, and
Yeah, Dan got loose, and just
he gone.
as Dan was loose, and as he was correcting the car, trying to right himself, just ever so gently hit the back quarter panel again, just to send him out of shape and into hard into the outside wall. And that's all she wrote for Ken tonight. Uh, Great run, but the car right now uh, is that 62 car. He was coming on strong there as they caught Slim and Rick Johnson. Now the caution out, Milty, and we have what 12 laps. We'll probably go green inside of 10 now. So do you come in, or what do you are you keeping your track position?
Oh man, we got
And
Ken Shea just out of the in-care center already. Man, it's just been tough couple weeks for him. What a stud this guy is, and just once again a victim of circumstances.
yeah,
Ken.
and yeah, tough.
Yeah, I think I caused one of those cautions. I think earlier, but I was just riding it out, wanting to get some laps in, and we had a a few car run there or a car pack there, and we were gonna saving fuel and just trying to make it to the end, and then
Yeah, it
just
looked like
gotta.
Dan got out of shape there and just ever so
Oh
gently
yeah, that one. Yeah.
turned you into the outside wall.
Well,
Yeah,
you know,
I saw him. I saw him
yeah.
spinning. I wanted to go a little bit. I wanted to go low because I thought he was going to come back up, and he didn't come back up. And
Well, you've been a great sportsman about it all, and we love having you back running. Hope this doesn't deter you for showing up again next Friday night, because me personally racing, and I know what an awesome driver you are. It's just that's racing, it's just tough.
it's fun. That's why I come out here. Got a little frustrated tonight though, and
It's when things start to pile up on you, it's just like, gosh darn it, man. Because we were just saying, you had a couple bad weeks, and then you were starting to show, this is Ken Shea, this is what he can do, and then, he got hammered again. It's just the way it goes.
yeah, it is. That's the way it goes.
Well, I thank you very much for coming up here. We're going to get back to it. Great sportsmanship, and we hope we see you next week. And but I have the ultimate respect for you. So thank you very much, sir.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks,
All right.
Ken. And yeah, tough break for Ken tonight. Milty, he's going to be out of the race in about 12th position, I think. Um,
Yeah.
so reset. Rick Johnson, our
He's
leader,
an
in
awesome
second.
guy, man. And he's a heck of a driver. Just it was very nice of him to allow us to talk to him for a minute. Racing is up and down, man. You got to take it. You got to be a man about it, and got to have sportsmanship, and that's just a great example of what we preach in this league. And he was able to come up here right after a wreck. Well, I'm sure he was disappointed, and I asked him, "Is it cool?" And that's what we're looking for in this league. And so I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. We always appreciate the guys giving us a moment of their time, whether they win or other. Um, and right now, inside of 10 laps, lights are out on the pace car. So
And
we're gonna
now we
have a
got
8 lap
brass
dash
tacks
here,
here.
Milty. Will we see another caution inside of these 8 laps? Is the question.
Well, Barney is in Rick's ear right now, and cheering, and how he has dominated this season. But that 25 really wants to get by him here, but he's not going to do nothing. Rick's,
Yeah,
he,
Slim's not going to be reckless here and make a
he's not going to
crazy
be
move.
reckless here.
But I
There's
think
just
he'll try to press him early on and see if he can get around him early.
it's all about this
of these 8
restart.
laps.
You
And
got to
then-
grab those gears and hope you don't blow one, and you're going to nail that start. And Sean Reap is definitely going to try to capitalize if anything is going to happen here. You've got to, if you're not got to get up on the wheel like you haven't gotten up on it. This is the restart for the win right here.
Yeah, and then we have Mike Sanders, Josh Elliker, who've been fast all night as well, right behind Sean. So something to think about there, as Rick is going to take the green, and Slim going to try to get that good restart like they did last time. And green flag is out. Looks like maybe a very even start compared to
great
last
start
time.
from the veteran, the 52, Rick Johnson. But all these guys really got up on the wheel here.
And we see side by side Josh Elliker and Mike Sanders for fourth.
Rick gets high, and it's Slim Jim Gailey down low. He opens the door and he closes it on him. Wow, that was wow.
Yeah, just as quickly as Rick opened it, he closed it, but
he had great momentum there, so he's thinking, obviously, he's racing the track and not the driver behind him, which that's what a great champion does. Because I was like, holy cow, you can't leave that open. But
Sean in the 62 right there as well.
He wants a piece of this.
He definitely wants a piece of this. He's
Josh
right
Elliker would like a top 5 here, definitely, but all these guys would like a win.
Yeah, as we approach 5 to go now, has Rick settled down now? A very uncharacteristic move there by Rick Johnson, leaving the door open momentarily. But now he's going to run Slim down to the line, and he's going to protect that inside line.
No, but he doesn't.
But Slim is really pressing the issue here. It's brought Josh Elliker into the picture as well now.
Skill. Folks, you just don't know. You don't know. If you haven't done this, you don't know how hard that is. Stay off him and just to ride that. He's going
Pop's
down low.
Going to try to do it again.
He
gets down on that apron. It looks like the caution is out.
Oh, that's horrible for Slim, because he was just, Slim was setting him up for that below the line pass.
Yeah.
That was in his mind right there.
I don't know what the caution was for there, Milty.
And Rick Johnson's going to win this race, and
I believe so.
Slim was just setting him up beautifully.
And it looks like back in the pack there, Milty, Dan Jones and Pops got together. Looks like Dan got into the back of Pops, put him up into the wall, both of them hard into the outside wall.
Well, that's what Rick wanted to see, because, as a vet like Rick, he knew that Slim was going to probably try that under the line pass, but he was setting him up with a few to go, and man, what a shame. We would like to have seen that battle, but
yeah, we won't.
This thing will.
Yeah, I don't believe we'll see a green flag here with 3 laps to go.
Nope.
So
as long as he don't run out of gas or blow up.
Yeah, as long as as long as all 4 gears don't get stripped out of there, or the engine blows up on them. It looks like Rick Johnson is going to extend his points lead, Milty. Slim with a very solid showing, and it looks like maybe Sean Reap is going to take our final podium position. So great run by
magical.
the 62 tonight.
Yes, you know,
He was
with
very
the
aggressive tonight as
with the
well.
with the pit uh,
Yeah, and coming back from that little
melee.
spin in pit lane, it looked like Sean to me, Milty, was a little more aggressive than we're used to seeing him, and it paid dividends because he was able to keep with those lead pack and not let them fall away. And
Absolutely, yep.
he ran pretty much up at the front. Once that late caution came out, that really helped his cause, and he cashed it in with a potential third place finish here.
Well, you know, these guys show up on Friday night because they want the ultimate competition, and they got it. But racing is fickle, and cautions and all that stuff. That's just part of the deal, you know.
Yeah, it's part of oval racing is that you can get full course cautions that take away maybe the better car winning. Can't really say that Rick Johnson doesn't have the better car here either. But Slim's car, I think, was
Quality
very good,
position.
and
Yeah.
I think Slim was willing
That
to
last
make
pit
that
stop.
move there to get under the apron to make that side by side run that he was hoping to get. But with the caution coming out, just will not materialize now. So, yeah,
He
that
set him up.
basically decided there, like you
Yep.
said, Milty, on caution. Uh, the race off pit lane, Rick Johnson was just a little better than Slim by maybe a piece of
Man,
the
yeah.
front bumper.
How many times I've seen that, and you know, nobody's perfect, and neither is he, but
He'll take the white flag there.
he's almost perfect. He just nailed that stop, and rest is history right here.
Yeah, so Rick Johnson takes our white
Oh,
flag. 1 lap to go as he's going to slowly circle around so we can page down off our top three. Josh Elliker fourth. Hard fought fourth place there with Sean at the end.
Yeah.
That was maybe something to be decided, as was with Mike Sanders there.
But nice run by Mike, top 5.
Yeah, top 5, led bunch of laps in the beginning.
His hometown fans will definitely be proud of that.
Absolutely. Jeff Hale really was behind the 8 ball after just lap 3 with
Damage, yeah.
Yeah, with some damage, but man, he just fought that car and kept it in the lead pack, and he'll finish 6th place. Steve Weber 7th. Ken Soska 8th. Pops fought back to the lead lap, Milty.
Yeah,
and
great
rewarded
job.
with a top 10 finish. 9th place for Pops, so great job. And how about the Perseverance Award to the 21 car?
Dennis Balzar.
Involved in that first really bad wreck. The car was off all night, but he soldiered on. Only lost 1 lap, Milty, with some great driving and some timely cautions. And he's going to get rewarded here. He's going to have a top 10 finish with a car that really has no business being in the top 10. So nice job.
Everything he's done from the minute he's come to this league has been exemplary, and fantastic driver, sportsman.
And our winner, as we see the race is now complete, is that
Winner, chicken dinner.
Red box Ford of Rick Johnson. Is there any red boxes left, Rick? Do we need to find you a new sponsor?
I don't know. You know, the one down the street from me somebody ran over it and tried to steal the stuff out of it.
Well, Rick won't be happy about that. I don't know if he knew about that. He won't sit kindly to people trying to steal his profits. I mean, he's expensive, Milty. I don't know if Redbox can afford him anymore.
Well, we'll see when the season ends. He's under contract, so I'm going to step away just for like 10 seconds. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and gather up our podium finishers as well as Rick celebrates on the grass. Another well earned victory for Rick Johnson. This time maybe didn't win it on the track per se, but won it on pit lane under that last caution exchange. Just edged Jim Gately out as they crossed the line, and that was the difference in the race. And there's our entire running order, our top 20 car field there. Some hard accidents in the beginning there with Leo and Jess. All the way up to, unfortunately, Dan and Ken Shea there getting together right at the end there. But there's our final running order. Rick Johnson, Slim Jim Gately, Sean Reeve, our top three. So this is race 11 of 23 in the FSB Winston Cup Series. Long extended season, so just getting toward the halfway point of the season right now. So still a lot of racing to be had. And as soon as we can get our Rick out of his car and out of the Hans device and all the safety equipment, we'll get him up here into the booth.